Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. This is a channel where I look at artwork on Pokemon cards. The subject for today's video is a fairly recent artist added to the roster of artists working for the Pokemon TCG. And this artist is called Atsuya Uki. He came to prominence in 2009 originally with his self-made anime film called Senko, which he wrote and directed, and it got a lot of praise and had a sequel 10 years later in Senko Connect. They're very short films, they're 30 minutes and 45 minutes. I have not seen them. They're outside of Japan, not easy to get hold of. But they're based on his manga, which was called Amongame. So he started off in manga, moved into anime, and then 15 years later was commissioned to do some Pokemon cards. So here we go. We'll look at all the different cards by Atsuya Uki, and I'll explain why I am a big fan. What I'm going to do is bring the camera in, actually, because we want to be closer to the cards. So, right. The first card, Cynthia's Ambitions. Now, this came out in V-Star Universe in December of 2022 in Japan, and in Crown Zenith of January 23. So this is the first card, very impressive card. And it's typical of Atsuya Uki's style. It has a very anime style to me, because the backgrounds and the figures are two distinct things. So the backgrounds are beautifully painted, absolutely incredible painted backgrounds. And then the figures are like a animation cell placed on top of the created background. I'm probably not explaining that very well. But the background are much more painterly. The figures are very clean, outlined. This is such a beautiful card. And incredibly affordable, considering it's got Cynthia in it. If you like this card, go get a copy, because it's not expensive. And it is beautiful. So we have Cynthia with Gastrodon there. Obviously, there's just one Japanese, one English print of that. So we'll put that there. The next card that they had was the Maril. Again, another big card. So obviously the commissioning editor had a lot of faith in Atsuya Uki as an artist, that they were prepared to give them important projects. So they got an art rare here. This is the Maril. And all the different Pokemon on here are clean outlines laid on top of the background. And what have we got here? We've got Bruxish, we've got Clauncher, we've got Pincurchin, we've got Love Disc. We've got Toxapex. Beautiful. And Maril, obviously. Maril. Really impressive card. A lot of people like this card. When it came out, it got a lot of hype. Again, not a particularly expensive card. Worth picking up if you like it. In years to come, it might get more expensive. So you've got the English one came out in Snow Hazard. Sorry, the Japanese one came out in Snow Hazard in April of 2023. And then the English one came out in Paldea Evolved of June 2023. So that was the second card. What we'll do it that way. So put the Japanese and then the English prints behind. So the third card that came out is the Froakie. And in Japan, this came out in the Water Greninja EX Start deck. And it almost looks like it's scratched with these drops of water falling down. But I'm not a big fan of Froakie, but that's about as good a Froakie card as you're ever going to see. I love the symmetry of it. Straight on. It's all It's all beautifully designed. The water lilies in flower, beautiful. Absolutely perfect card. So in Japan, they had that came out in a deck. I think that's the same, isn't it? Yeah, that's the same. But I've got lots of copies of it. I think you got 3 copies in the deck, so I've got 3 copies of it. But there's also this version in Japanese, which is the Tanto Hair Product promo. I can't remember the exact date on when this came out, but it was late summer of 2023. Probably a couple of months after the original one there. And then in English, we've had 3 prints of it because not only did it have its regular prints in Obsidian Flames in August of 2023. Sorry, I've got this wrong. The regular print is that one there. And then it had a reverse. So you've got the regular and reverse. This is the Obsidian Flames. You also have this one, which is the hollow foil with the edges and, well, all the hollow foil, which was in the Greninja box at the beginning of 2024. So there are, that's just a duplicate. So there are effectively 3 different prints to get of it in English and the 2 different prints in Japanese. So that makes 5, obviously. There are the 5 prints of that. The next card that came out. Let me just get it out of the binder. Bear with me. Right, we'll get all of them out. The Milotic. The Milotic Mirror Cross came out in Future Flash of October last year. Very much the style I was talking about with the anime style of a painted background and a cell-like transposition over the top of the Pokémon with clean outlines. My criticism of this card at the time, and it kind of remains, I mean, my eyes look at it a little differently perhaps, is that I think Milotic is a little bit too chunky here, just somewhere here, as he looks a bit like an anaconda that has swallowed a goat. I think, given that it's coming forward in a spiral, it should have been slightly smaller because of this. Oh, well, it's a minor thing, but it just looks a little bit chunky, perhaps. But other than that, the design of the card is absolutely spectacular. Beautiful painting. Love this Kelpie-like stuff. Just lovely. So, yeah, that came out in Future Flash of October last year. And then in Paradox Rift of last year, we got an English one with a reverse as well. So without the hollow foil, the image looks like that. Very beautiful. But it works very nicely as a hollow foil as well. So there are the 3 copies of that to get if you want to be completist, which obviously I am completist. The next card was the Heliolisk, which I absolutely adore. I think this is the one which totally made me fall in love with their artwork. Actually, I could say his artwork because I'm pretty sure Atsuya Uki is male. I may have even seen photographs of him. Anyway, this is the Heliolisk from Crimson Haze of this year, from March 2024. And something about the forget-me-not blue of the sky there, in contrast with the yellows. It's just beautiful. And again, it's that sort of anime cell. So you've got a background without outlines as a static background in effect, and then the character of Heliolisk over the top. Love the slant of it, the drama of it, and just the puffs of a couple of little clouds in the sky to create mood. Just wonderful. It's quite a simple but very clean card, very clean illustration. So yeah, this is the Crimson Haze one from March 24, and this is the Twilight Masquerade one in English, which came out in May of 2024, with a reverse, obviously. So there are 3 copies of the Heliolisk, just a straightforward print. The next card that came out is a slightly different one because it didn't come out in Japanese or English. This is Ivysaur, and this is from Simplified Chinese. This is from a set called Brave Stars in China. I did say Simplified Chinese, didn't I? Yeah. I'm vague today, sorry. So this is the Chinese Ivysaur, which was originally released with the card was originally released in Pokemon Go in Japanese and English. They've had to change the artwork because of copyright issues about Pokemon Go. So they repainted or had new illustrations for the cards when they were released in China in Brave Stars in June of 2024. And Atsuya was asked to do a new artwork for this. The Chinese reverses are a strange pattern with large energy symbols. I don't like that. But anyway, they get a reverse in Chinese. This is a less successful card for me. I love the background. I think the background is really amazing. But I think the thinness of the lines on Ivysaur, I think a sturdier outline would have worked better. It doesn't quite work, but it's still very nice. But it's a sort of 8 out of 10, whereas the others are 9 and 10s out of 10. So that's a nice little extra card that one has to find, because Chinese cards aren't as straightforward to find as English or Japanese cards. The penultimate card I have to show you is the Crocolaw, which came from Super Electric Breaker and Surging Sparks. So October 2024 and November 2024. We'll put the English ones down there. Now, Crocolaw is a strange one because it's a Pokemon I remember when it came out in the game, I was really turned off by the whole thing. I thought it was a repulsively bad design with the hat. I've understood now more about what it's based on, the Day of the Dead sort of thing. Yeah, you can go and research what Crocolaw is and the lore behind it. It's an okay card. The background looks a bit boring at first glance, but actually if you take the time to look at it, it's actually very, very well painted. Beautifully painted. So, Crocolaw's okay. I actually could find that slightly appealing, whereas before I found it a repulsive Pokemon, but actually a really good little illustration there. But one of the weaker ones, perhaps. But we're finishing with probably my favourite, I guess. Well, I'm totally biased on this. This just came out this week, a few days ago in Japan, in the Generations Start decks. So this is Tropius. Now, I'm a huge Tropius fan. I've got every Tropius card that's ever been printed. I love Tropius. So to have an artist that I really, really like do a Tropius and do it so well is a real joy for me. So what can I say about this card other than it's a beautiful piece of cartoon artwork, lovely clean lines, excellent lighting, a very nice Pokemon. Love this, the flowers in the foreground, and you've got, foreground, middle ground, far background. Really couldn't ask for a better Tropius card. It's shot right up there in my Tropius card list to possibly. No, it's not going to. Fukuda's one is always going to be my favourite, but this is a very top 3 Tropius cards of all time for me. Beautiful card. So those are the cards of Atsuya Uki. I think he's an amazingly good artist. I'm very pleased to have him in the roster of artists working at the moment. I look forward to many more things that he will be doing. So thank you, Pokemon Company, for giving him employment. And that is today's video.